Welcome back in with King Family to another F1 Clash video, and we're here for our opening round of the Spain Legendary event. And we're going to be going in here to get qualified for the final round. Alright, let's jump on in. I didn't get any time to play F1 Clash for the last 2 days. I still have even my rewards for the compensation. I wonder when it's going to be expiring. Let me look at that time real quick. Alright, so I still have a day and 20 hours to get that. Alright, so yeah, let's go jump in to our event and see what we could do in this one. So first track up is going to be Spain. Let's go in and see. Here we go for our first race on Spain. Let's see where we qualify. We're using Antonelli and our Haja. Ooh, Haja getting out qualified by Behrman there. Alright, so Haja, there we go, looking good. Alright, we're going to be going for the SAR boost for both drivers, for tire management for both of them. And then we're going to go medium tires on Kimi, and we're going to go soft tires on Haja for a 3-3-4 and a 4-3-3 strategy. Alright, let's go. So we shouldn't stock. Let's see if we can get a nice start with our Antonelli here. Fast start. Can he pick up any position? We see our Aja moving up there, making up some places. Nice Aja passing Antonelli and pushing forward on the soft tires. Going inside Aja, there you go. Nice inside line there from our Aja. Can he make his way up to P2? Yes, he can. We're going to cut him down there. And we're going to cut down our Antonelli there. He should be able to squeeze up into P1. There we go. Nice driving from our Haja here. Though his qualifying is poor, his recovery is pretty good. Antonelli qualifying is good, but his overall recovery is pretty bad. So we might test Behrman in this one. Let's boost here, try to hold off the rival Behrman. Alright, so he got past, so we could just cut down there. We're going to use our DRS up straight. Nice overtake back there from our Antonelli. One thing I have noticed that tire management, you can't just say that you're on the softer tire and just sit and the driver on the hard or the medium is going to stick behind you because you're on the faster tire. They are going to overtake. Now let's bring in our... Ooh, we could do 3 laps with our Haja. 4 laps, I should say, on the softs. But we're going to bring him in now, as we did not plan to go 4 laps with him. So we don't want to stock. So we'll just bring him in, and then we'll go around with our Antonelli, and then we'll bring him in from there. Haja back out in P2. We're going to kind of slow Haja down here, see if we could use him to hold back P3 so Antonelli can get into pit nice and quick without any issues. So Ajay is doing a pretty good job holding P2. He's just coming, so we're gonna charge him there as we boost in our Antonelli now. P3 coming in, P4, P5, P6 is gonna continue. They're the one we're gonna need to. Ooh, they're stopping. So only P2 got in. That's a nice run from our Antonelli there to make his way up to P3. This it. So I want to see. Ooh, so George Russell is on soft tires as well. All right. So we're looking good here. Or Haja is looking good. We're gonna bring him into pit for those mediums, or we could bring him in for the softs and do 4 laps on them. We're just gonna bring him in for the mediums. Not gonna push it to go for the soft, and then they run out of tires. Then he ran out of tires, so we're just gonna go for that. Alright, so let's see if we can track down George Russell now with our Antonelli. We have 1 lap to go before his pit stop. We're going around with our Antonelli, with our Haja, I should say, for the 4th lap. He has the tires to do so. And we see George Russell going into pit. Let's see if we can overcut George Russell with or Antonelli, if that would be successful. Coming in for the softs. What tires is P3 on? He's on the hards. And George Russell came back out on the hards. So it should be pretty good. Or Haja just running out of tire right at the pit entrance. So that was a good fourth lap for us. And here comes George Russell in P4. Here comes our Antonelli on his way out, As long as he gets out in front, there we go. The overcut was successful of George Russell there. So this is P1, P2 for us. As Hamilton needs to make another stop on his hard tires. So that's nice and clean. P1, P2 for first race here at Spain. Looking good. So Antonelli did drive pretty well here, though his recovery is overall qualifying stats is great, but his overall driving might try Behrman in one of these races and see, compare Antonelli and Behrman there. Alright, so pretty nice race. We're going to go for final laps if we can get the fastest lap now with or Haja. And let's boost our Antonelli as well. Nice gap between P3, so no worries there. Here comes Haja hunting down P9. Great drive from him. He made it, got P9, lapped the boat rivals, and we deuce. There we go. Alright, so there we go. Nice race here at Spain. For the boost, we used the SAR boost, and for strategy, we did a 3-4-3 with our Antonelli, and we did a 4-3-3 with or we did the 4-3-3 with Antonelli, and we did the 3-4-3 with or Haja here. Alright. So if you have a level 5 Haja and you're going to be using the SAR boost, you could squeeze 4 laps out of his soft tires there. Alright. Alright, so let's take a quick look now at the debriefing window. Alright, so there we go. That was a strategy 3-4-3 and 4-3-3. So if you can't get the 4 laps out of his softs there, so you want to go 3-3 and then mediums to finish. Alright. And there was the match. So it was a level 2 Behrman that out-qualified or Haja. But we had more qualifying than him. So I don't know. Oh, he has more on the car. Alright. Alright. Let's jump into our next race and see what we can do. Here we go for our next race on Imola. It's going to be completely wet here. See where we qualify. Antonelli up there, P2, Haja P11. Nice qualifying from or Antonelli there. We're gonna go for the, let me see which boost we're gonna use here. Time is running out. Alright, we're gonna go for the dead fast for both drivers real quick. Dead fast for speed. We could go, we should have, why do I have the vice on that one? Alright, let's go. We do have some power unit in there, so yeah. Oh, it's a real rival as well. Alright, interesting here. Antonelli stuck on start, and there goes the rival Behrman passing or Antonelli. He doesn't have the best start, so we probably should have gone for more on the race start side for the boost here. Anyways, it's just 3 laps, and we're just gonna cruise a bit, let the rival do his thing a bit. Save a little bit of power unit. Alright, rival out in P1. Let's give some support now to our drivers. See if we can go and close down that gap. They're both nice and close. I don't like it when they're nice and close. Antonelli struggles. I think we didn't select the best boost here at Imola at all. Let's boost DRS up the straight. Can we pass George Russell? Struggling to pass George Russell here. We have that nice speed and power unit. And here comes our Aja to suck on to our Antonelli. Bad luck there. Alright, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go around with, I'm gonna just go around with Aja. I'm gonna go in with Antonelli. Let's use the power unit. A little late there. Alright. So let's just keep going. The rival ran 4-4. Wow. That boost must give him a good amount of tire management. We're gonna squeeze in now with our Haja. And then we're gonna hit that DRS with more Antonelli to pick up P3. Nice overcut, undercut there on P4, but then we lost a place. Classic. See if Haja can squeeze up the inside here. No, he cannot. Alright, so we should have gone mainly for race start boost. Should have gone for like the Prince or Samba. Some race start boost. That's what we should have gone for here. Anyways, let's just give it our best shot. It is the opening round after all. Alright, so we're up to P3, P5 now. And once again, they are nice and close to each other, which we don't want. So we're gonna go to pit here with our Antonelli for his final pit stop. Then we'll go around with our Haja for another lap, and then we'll make him stop there. See if we can close down P3 with our Haja. Slams into the back. The only thing I hate about the DRS feature is that when your driver is boosting away, they just go and slam into the back of the car, killing all of the speed that they were coming with. Let's go into pit now with our Haja. Boost on in. Let's boost now our Antonelli with the DRS. And we're back out in P6 with our Haja. We're gonna just slow him down there, as P3 and P4 should make their stop. So we should be able to pick up them. Haja wants to be in front of Antonelli for the longest time. What I might do is just switch out Antonelli, or I'll probably just have to focus on giving him a race start boost so he gets a better start. Yeah, that's what I might have to do. Focus on giving him the race start boost so he get a better start. Because his start is poor for most of the races. And most of the time when I'm using Antonelli, his start is a bit poor. That's why I was saying that he does qualify great, but his start is a bit poor. So Behrman, though he qualifies behind, has a great start. Great race, sir, and good luck. Yeah, this rival had the better boost than us, so yeah, he got the win. Great race. Let's take a look now at the debriefing and jump into the next one. Yeah. As for strategy, 3-3-3, and we did a 4-3-2. So he has a Behrman. Yep, Behrman Classic. And he has his setup all on power unit. Interesting. So did the power unit setup kick in there? We've recently noticed that changing it up for each track doesn't work. Did Hutch change it behind our backs again, like they always do, is change stuff? Here we go for our next race at Baku. Let's see where we qualify. We switched out Antonelli for Behrman here, so let's see how that pays off. P8, P10. Ooh, Antonelli would have been way in the top here. All right, so we're gonna go for 3 laps and 3 laps. Let's see, we're gonna go for the, let me see, the boost. We're gonna be looking for the skull boost here. There it is. All right, we'll take the skull for both drivers, and let's go. So we have power unit with some speed and overtaking. Perfect start from our drivers. Alright, let's see if Behrman now can make up some place. There we go, making up a few place. Haja wants to pass. Haja is aggressive right now. He needs to pass. Getting blocked in by P5 Lando Norris as Behrman moves up. So yeah, we got a better start and we managed to pick up some more place with these drivers compared to using Antonelli, who he would have qualified way out in the front, but probably get stuck on making up the places. So Behrman and Haja here did a pretty good job of making up some places, and Haja really needed to pass Behrman there because he was just aggressive with his start. Alright, it's an interesting fact here when it comes to the driver with the more qualifying stats. So if you could find a driver with a better qualifying stats than Antonelli just by a little bit, then it works out in the end, because his performance throughout the race is not necessarily the best. Alright, so we're gonna go into pit here. We wanted to do come back for 4 and do a 1 stop, but we'll have to come back to the soft tires. But since we're out in front here, we might be able to wing it and don't get burned. Yeah, we might be able to wing it without getting burned here. So I'm gonna make 2 stops instead of 1. And without getting burned. We didn't lose any time there to pit. I guess this is a hard tire driver going around. Hit that DRS so we can pass him. Then we're gonna kind of save our DRS with our Behrman for the straight. Yep, hard tires. Everybody on softs and mediums, so we want to go around for 2 more laps and then we'll make another stop. But those on the hard tires are going to go for the mediums, and they're going to go to finish So we're going to need to pass. We're going to need to pass. Let's hit the DRS down the straight. Should be able to pass and create a nice little gap, enough so we could get a pit stop without P4 catching back up to us. P4 is going to be on, oh, he went for hard tires again, George Russell. And so he's going to be the one we're going to need to watch. P4 George Russell. Alright, don't want him to close down the gap with Or Bearman. We're going to bring in Or Bearman now, and we're going to let Or Haja go around for another lap. And then we'll bring in the Haja for the final stop. So here comes P4, and here is Bearman in pit. Come on, Bearman. Come on, Bearman. Right on the last turn, nice and clear. Great. And we'll just hit that DRS to go close down the gap to P2. He's going to be going into pit, so we're looking pretty good here. We've outrun P4, who went for the hard tire, so we should be at 1-2 here. Let's go on into pit with Or Haja. P2 will be making a stop. There we go. Nice gap to P4, which is now P3, George Russell. Alright, nice. Looking good. So the skull boost is the best boost for this track. We've selected the best boost for this one. And both Bearman and Haja performed great. Antonelli, again, qualifies great. He's always out there. One thing I would say, if you're going to be using Antonelli, you preferably want to invest in a race start boost for him personally, so he could get that good start. Right, so that might be a thing. So we could switch back out Bearman for Antonelli for our next race, and we'll invest in a race start boost for him and see how that goes. All right, let's go. We're waiting for the rival to finish his race. All right, there we go. All right, 47. So we're gonna switch back in Antonelli. And then, because we like that good qualifying. We don't like to see boat drivers qualifying like midfield. We like to see them qualifying up in the front. All right, so there we go. Level 5 Haja, and that was the car. All right, let's jump into the next one. Here we go for final race of the video on Australia. Let's see where or Antonelli. Look at Antonelli, he's just way out in the front. That's how we like to qualify. So we're gonna just invest a race start boost on him and see how he goes from there. Alright, so we're gonna go for the medium tires. Speed and race start is the thing here. So we're gonna look for Street Shark. Let's give them that. There we go. Alright, so our Antonelli way out in the front. It's 9 laps, so 3-3-3. Let's go. Haja should do pretty good for himself in the back there, making his way to rival opted to go mediums and hards. Alright, so Antonelli out in P1 and Haja making up to P2 nice and early. That's how we like to see it. So once you select the right boost, it works out. So we're gonna definitely be invested mainly, let's say the Street Shark boost then. We're going to be making it Antonelli's main boost, right? Because he does qualify out in the front of the pack, but it's just that he does not performs great at the starting of the race. He doesn't overtake. He just sits behind whoever's in front of him and cruise for the most part. Safety car, safety car, safety car. Yeah, we're gonna make an early pit stop on the safety car here. Go for mediums with both drivers. We could go for softs. Do 3 laps. Do we want to make the stop? could make the stop with one driver. Let's make the stop with or Antonelli. And we'll just go around with Haja. Don't want to lose too much place. If we'd stopped both drivers, we'd have lost a lot of places. Always remember, under safety car conditions, you want to cut your drivers down to conserve, so you could charge your power unit and you could take as less tires as possible. So we're going to do one lap after the safety car with our Haja, then we'll bring him into pit. And Antonelli's on those fresh tires, so he could go all the way home. Until everybody pits, he's coming back to pit on lap 6. The safety lap is lap 3, which is slow. So lap 6 is where we're going to come back to pit with Antonelli. We're going to do one lap with our Haja here. He can do it. Safety car about to go on in. Just boost there and boost here. Antonelli getting past at DRS. A little late on the DRS for our Antonelli, but it is what it is. Managed to squeeze P4. You see if he could squeeze P3 as well. He has the line. He has the inside line. Now he gets it. Alright, Haja going into pit. P2 should be going to pit. He's on the soft compound. And we'll just cut down Antonelli there. Everybody going into pit except for P7. We're back out in P3, hard tires. Alright, so with one lap, then we're going to be pitting or Antonelli. Haja should be able to pass Lando Norris on his own here without giving him any support. Let's see if he can do so. He's very aggressive. There we go. Squeezing by. But he got pulled back. Yeah, we'll probably just have to give him the support to let him pass. Let's just boost there. Yeah, we're going to go into pit now for or Antonelli to come back to mediums. Lap 6, he's on the final percentage of his tires. Kimi Antonelli. And we're going to boost him from there into pit. We wanted him to pit on lap 6. So he just do the final 3 laps on his fresh new medium tires. So we're going to bring in Umar Haja. Here comes George Russell on softs. So no problem to be behind Russell here. He'll have to make another stop. We could just cruise with our Antonelli here for now. You're going to see Russell just pull away from our Antonelli. Yeah, Antonelli is just that kind of driver. You know, he gets the qualifying done, but throughout the race, he's not necessarily the best to be using. So if you invest in using Antonelli, I would definitely recommend just making a race start boost, his personal boost, and he should be good from there, because he's going to pull out from the front of the pack for the most of the time and make his way. Alright, so there we go. Looking good for the final lap, 47 points. We got the right boost and we worked the strategy with the safety car in there perfectly. DRS goes in down Antonelli's Haja. Very aggressive driver, Haja here, with the 20% buff. Though his qualifying is not the best, he does make up for it throughout the race. He does definitely make up for that qualifying stat throughout the race. And there we go. Nice, 47 points. Let's wait for the rival to finish, then we'll end the video there. This video was pretty long. Hopefully the file Alright, so it's still recording and looking good. Hopefully the file don't get corrupted. So yeah, hopefully we can transfer the file correctly without it being corrupted. Alright, there we go. Rival has completed his race. P10, P12. I didn't like Bearman qualifying in the back beside my Haja at all. That just didn't feel right at all. That just didn't feel right at all. So we're gonna use our Antonelli, and we're gonna just invest a race start boost into him, which looks like the Street Shark did a pretty good job with him, so we might stick with that, and I do have a good amount of it. Alright, so there we go. That was the match. The rival had the better car. Alright. Alright, so let me know down in the comments how you guys are doing in your races. And that's for our first 4 races. Should I make the last 4 races a video? Let me know down in the comments if you guys would like to see the last 4 races a video, even though I might not have the time to make the last 4 races a video. So yeah, let me not get into that because I probably don't have the time to do so. Alright, so that's basically going to be it for this one. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are doing in your events. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.